More recently, the government drive to promote bilingualism has put the pressure on a minority of English-speaking civil servants who are unwilling or unable to cope with French language courses. Some feel that their careers have been blighted. One such man and his wife agreed to appear on Weekend to tell their story, provided that their identities remained hidden. They spoke to Larry Zolf.
My responsibilities included the management of a public relations program for a government agency. This was taken away.
How many people worked under you, and how many responsibilities did you have?
In my last position before this situation, I had 13 employees.
Various university, high school?
These included from people with master's degrees down to clerical employees, stenographic. And it included administrative positions and public relations, information officer types in the public service.
And now, because you do not speak French, what is your status? What are you doing now?
I'm a clerk.
What does that mean exactly?
I'm performing clerical duties with no supervision whatever over any employees. I am relegated to the status of a junior clerk in salary or in responsibility. I've attended the language schools, 2 sessions of 3 weeks each. The instructors are excellent, as far as I'm concerned. The schools are, I think, my assessment of them would be that they are set up to teach French, in my case being an Englishman. But the big drawback is that the Englishman working in the federal public service, going to a language school for 3 weeks and not having the opportunity to practice what he learns in those 3 weeks, hasn't got a hope. If he's not assimilated into the French milieu, he just won't, he just can't use the pronunciation and the use of the language that he is taught in the schools. And it's a rather, to me, I think, hopeless cause.
Now, let me get this straight now. Because of your inability to learn French, you are now really at the end of your career? You will never be promoted again?
It appears that way, yes. I'm resigned to that, yes.
You're resigned to that?
Yes.
Why are you sticking it out? Pension rights or what?
Pension rights, yeah. I've worked for 31 years. I'm looking forward to retirement from the public service.
You want to get out of a situation that's not terribly pleasant for you now?
Rotten.
What does this do to your feeling of self-worth, or your feeling of yourself? How do you cope with that kind of thing?
It's a good question. You can't function as an administrator or as a management type when you are assigned duties which are purely clerical. So it leaves you with the feeling that you're a junior clerk, which is generally a young person. I have worked, as we mentioned before, I think for 31 years, and I have performed a great variety of duties requiring a rather large diversity of skills, and now I'm relegated to the position of a junior and young person just starting in a clerical job. So it makes me feel that I'm rather somewhat worthless.
You feel useless and unwanted? Or?
Useless and unwanted.
You were earlier saying that if you didn't have these outside interests to sustain you, and being reduced from a managerial job to a clerical job because your lack of knowledge of French, you would have been in a tremendous state of anxiety and despair?
Absolutely. No doubt.
How far would this have gone? To ultimate lengths or what?
It could have gone to any length, yes. Depends on the individual, I think. A strong individual will be able to combat it. A rather weaker individual might go to the length of even committing suicide. The pressure is just too great.
Have those kinds of thoughts enter your mind?
Of course.